Hi, currently we are at Hospital Singapore and today we will go interview a person that is a doctor. Let's go.
Meanwhile,
Go. Good morning. I'm ARIF HAKIM bin ANUWAR from Unikl MFI. So, me and my group, we're going to do an interview with you to complete our assignment to graduate.
Okay, yeah, sure. Welcome to my clinic, eh?
Okay, thank you. Okay, for starting, I'm going to ask you about your personal background if it's okay with you.
Yeah, it's okay with me. What question do you want to ask me?
Okay, first of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Tasnim. I am currently 27 years old. I was raised in Ipoh. I am the eldest in my family. I had 3 siblings with me. My journey started when I attended my secondary school in SMK Gunung Rapat. It's one of the sports school in Perak. Then after my SPM, I flew to Egypt to continue my study in medicine.
Oh wow, so you have studied in Egypt. Wow, amazing. Okay, next question I'm going to ask you exactly how long have you been involved in this field? I mean, since when and how did it start?
Okay, I've been involved in this medicine field since I started my degree study in Tata University, Egypt. After that, in 2016, I came back and graduated to get a Bachelor in Medicine. Then I started to bring my housemanship in Hospital Singapore for 2 years. And this is my first year of doing my medical officer after completing hospital training. So it's already took me like 3 years for me to work in this field, but to study in medicine I took somewhere around 6 years already. It was quite a long journey for me.
Yeah, it's really a long journey. And then I'm just curious that what makes you think about involving in this field? I mean, what makes you think that you want to be a doctor?
The reason I want to be a doctor is because I really love science. When I was in my secondary school, I always do well in my biology as well, and I found it was very interesting to study the living, how is the living of the creatures that our God has created to learn their systems and a lot of systems in our body. So I think the main reason is why because I can see lots of people who are sick outside, and I really have like something inside me that I want to fix them. I want to make outside people happy and healthy. That is the reason why.
You got quite a good reason there. What is your greatest strength and weakness? I mean, what is your strength for you to complete your study journey and then become a doctor, and then the weakness maybe the challenge or something that makes you down during the study time?
I suppose in medicine, my greatest strength is actually my parents and then my family. They are the one who inspired me to do well in medicine because as we usually know that in medicine, lots of people is gonna fail their exams, they're gonna repeat their exam. But so far, I think I am very feared. I'm very feared and very anxious of getting myself to be repeated in any of the paper. So I think my greatest strength is that I think I'm very hardworking. Okay, and then I'm very compliant to what I'm doing. And then my weakness is that I'm very anxious. I usually get anxious. Okay, and I cannot accept failure in my life.
What makes you happy when you're feeling down? Maybe from a bad day at work, and then you go back home and doing hobby or something to cheer you up.
Okay. When I'm feeling down, the thing that I'm always gonna do is that before I went back home, I would put a stop to all my stress that I'm having at work, and then I'm just gonna start thinking about my husband. I don't want my husband to be sad. I want my husband to be happy. And then when I get home, usually I'm gonna watch TV, listening to music, and dancing some of the time.
Okay, so you're quite professional in dividing your family time and work time.
It is very important to divide it.
Okay, so Dr. Tasnim, next session of our interview will be questioning you about experience as a student. So, when you were a university student, what kind of obstacles that you have to get through during your study? I mean, because you study far from your hometown, and then you probably have problems like money problems or with studying and friends and family. So, what kind of obstacle?
Because I was studying overseas, so I was quite far from my family, and also I was quite far from food that we always have in Malaysia, because in Egypt there is no curry, there's no gulai, okay? There's no roti canai. So I think the obstacle that I'll be facing is one maybe of that, but I don't think it's a big obstacle for me. I think the biggest obstacle for me is that when I pursue my career, when I'm taking medicine as my degree, I think the greatest obstacle is that I have to like read a lot of books, and then I have to put it inside my mind. I think the greatest obstacle is that for me to find my time to read those books and to memorize those books. Especially in Egypt, there's a four seasons weather. Just in winter, I always have difficulty of getting myself to study. I will sleep like in winter. That I think is one of the greatest obstacle for me during my student time.
Okay, so when you say that time was your greatest obstacle, and then how did you manage to face that obstacles to complete your study?
Okay, when it happened to me, I always ensure myself that I was putting my mind like this, like in a day there's a 24 hours in your life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would I do? I would make sure that myself, I have to put 1 hour at least allocated for me to study. So every day, I woke up at 5 a.m. So it's gonna be like my routine to wake up and to study at least 1 hour before. That is to revise the thing that's the chapter that's gonna be learned later in the class. I think it's helped me a lot to find that thing. And then the rest of 23 hours, I said, I always put it in my mind. I can play the whole 23 hours as long as I can study at least 1 hour per day. Okay, that is what I've been doing for myself.
So, okay, you have quite a good, how do you say? Pegang lah.
Discipline.
Discipline. Yeah, and then when you during your study time, did you get involved in any extracurricular activities?
Oh, of course.
So you quite okay, study and playing.
Yeah, I think we have to balance it. So like I say, 1 hour for study and 52 hours rest is for playing. So
that's not bad.
it's quite balanced, because I mean like at least you allocate yourself for study time, and then you attend your class. You have a lecture till evening. So I mean, it's just the 1 hour is your study, your revision on your own, but the rest is gonna be in your class, okay? And then it's like your tutor or something. And then yeah, I do get involved in sports as well during my time in university. I can sprint a bit, and also I'm a swimmer since I was in my secondary school.
So you're quite an athlete.
Not really lah.
Yeah, as you said before when I asked you about your personal background, that you really hate to fail. So, did you fear about being a failure?
Oh, it is my greatest fear.
With your greatest fear of all time.
Yeah, but when I become a doctor, I do a lot of mistakes. So what I do is I say that sometimes failure doesn't mean that you are stupid or something. You can learn from your fail. I can learn from my failure as well as I'm gonna improve it later on, so I won't repeat the same mistakes again. Okay, so for all of you also, I suggest that if you guys are making a mistake, don't worry about that. Don't regret about it. Just like you have to learn from your mistakes. If you keep thinking about your mistakes, you're gonna take you away. Trust me.
Oh wow, that's a really good advice for us. I mean, it really touched me. So, Dr. Tasnim, moving on to the next questions, I'm gonna ask you about your experience as a doctor. Okay. Firstly, how do you handle pressure at work? I mean, of course, it will be a lot of pressure. I mean, you have to deal with people every day. So, how do you handle it?
Okay, I mean, like, it is very stressful to work in this kind of environment. So far from all of us knew that COVID has been since COVID has been entering into this hospital, and this is the center that accepting the coronavirus patients. But luckily for me, I was in the orthopedic department. So for me, how I'm gonna handle my stress at work is usually I have a nice colleague here. I have lots of colleagues and they are all very nice and very understanding. So what I'm gonna do whenever I face a stress or something, I just gonna let it out to one of them. Okay, I'm not gonna keep it inside my heart or my mind. I just like let it go to one of my colleagues or friends.
So your friends must be all the good listener.
Yeah, of course. And,
it's good to have that kind of friend.
And I'm working in a place with full of men, so like it's easily for me to get.
Men always understand.
Yeah, correct.
So okay. So I'm going to ask you about your work scope as a doctor.
My job scope in the orthopedic department. Okay, first of all, I have to see patients in clinics. Okay, I'm gonna discuss about the X-ray, about the procedures that are gonna be done. I mean the operations, and then I'm gonna see a lot of patients in emergency department as well when people are having a trauma and so on. And I have to take care of my ward as well, and I have to go to operation room as well. Sometimes amputate limbs of a patient. I'm gonna put some some implant inside the body of a patient. So I'm gonna cut their body somewhere. Like their hands and their legs or something like that.
Okay, so every day you have a tough day at work.
Not every day, but most of the day is quite tough lah.
So okay, about your job, what is the most challenging task that you have to face?
The challenging task is like, I'm still like a junior medical officer here. So whenever I have to go to operation room, to amputate the limbs, it was a quite tough experience for me because I'm still a beginner for that. That's the most challenging thing for me, I think, for now.
I think it's also challenging for me.
Yeah.
I much about me. So okay, about your job, what is your proudest and worst experience since you've been involved in this field?
My proudest experience that I get to involve in one of the organs transplantation program, where I'm able to take out all the 4 bones at the legs, and then I'm gonna put a fake bone inside the corpse inside. I think that is one of the proudest moment. Okay, and a bad moment for me, I don't think I have one as well. I think it's challenging. Everything is challenging, but I just we're gonna learn from the mistake, so I'm not gonna think about it.
Okay, thank you. Look like you really enjoying and love your job.
Yes, I do love my career.
Okay, the next question. Who are the people that influence you to enter this field to become a doctor?
The people who encourage me to become a doctor, to pursue a doctor as a career, I think it's likely is my friends of family. Okay, they are very close to me. I mean, like it's like my mom as well. She worked as a doctor. Initially, I didn't have any interest to become a doctor, but since I was young, she always took me to her clinic to see how she worked, and then she also took me to courses while I was still in my secondary school. So I think she was the one who inspired me to become a doctor, and I as well think Dr. Muzaffar. Before he became an astronaut, he was supposed to be an orthopedic specialist, which is the field that I'm in now. So I think like it was quite amazed to see how smart he is. Okay.
Okay. And then, so my next question is kind of interesting for me. Yeah, but what other ambition would you pursue if you are not a doctor now?
What do you think I should be if I'm not a doctor now?
I don't know, because you say you like dancing, maybe you should be a dancer.
Wow, that is not a good thing for me. Actually, if I'm not become a doctor, I will be a teacher. I think teacher is one of the most inspiring work for others, because the teacher who was the one who raises a doctor, a teacher who was the one who raised up an engineer, a teacher who raised up a businessman. I think it's quite respectful for me. I quite respect a teacher as a career, and I think I would love to be a teacher. And also during my study time, I always teach my friends. I always did tutor. That's why I love. If I'm not a doctor, I'm gonna be a teacher.
So doctor, my last question is, what is your advice for youngster students for them to be successful as you?
Oh, I'm not saying that I'm that successful yet, but to all the youngsters, I would like to advise for all of you to have a very strong mind and to have a very strong physical, because nowadays we are working in a very challenging environment. Trust me, to get a job is not an easy things, and then it was quite tough in our time now. I mean, like for me is that you guys have to become an extraordinary, to be like more special than the ordinary people, so that people gonna see you and they're gonna take you forward. Okay, don't be like introvert. You have to be extrovert. You have to be like very, very active and know what you're gonna do, and you have to be very passionate and be extraordinary. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Because we can interview you and help us for our assignment. I guess that's all for our interview session.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I do hope all of you gonna be a success youngster in the future. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Welcome.
Okay, we have done our interview session with Dr. Tasnim, and we are very grateful to have her with us. And all the information we get from the interview, we will use it for our assignment in the future.
Things that I can take is, whatever you do in your life, even if you study or working, you need to work hard. It's not easy to achieve anything in your life, but as long as you work hard, you will have at least an opportunity to get it.
Friends and family are the best supporter for us as a student, because you can share everything with them. So don't lose friends or family.
We need to use time wisely.
We must love doing what we do, so we don't stress out when we are doing our job.
Never give up, never surrender, and fight Corona.
Fight Corona!
Fight Corona!
Thank you.